Oh, cut your fucking dick off. And this is the start of the podcast. Hello, boys.
Oh.
You don't like that start?
I don't.
Why?
That was a bit harsh.
I don't want
Was
to
that too aggressive?
Yeah, it was...
That my penis is too valuable to me.
Okay, how about you guys bring the show in? That's what Rory did.
Yeah, hey, what up? This is Collect Hive. I'm your boy Shway Dog. In the studio. I got Nisbets here, my boy Nisbets, and our special guest today. Introduce yourself.
Myself or Nesbits? Or
Wait,
Nards?
yourself. Why would you introduce Nesbits?
Yourself, boy. He was
I
referring to you.
introduce Nesbits.
I'm SJ.
Oh, SJ.
That's it.
W.
Well, that's a pretty shit rapper name, so...
I know. What's going on this fine eve, boys?
Well, it's 11:35 a.m, so I wouldn't exactly class it as an eve.
Okay, but what day is it today?
Monday.
No. What's the date
Oh,
today?
Fuck, what day is it today?
It
On
is
date.
it is the 20th of the 4th, 2020.
It is Adolf Hitler's birthday.
No, it isn't.
Yes,
That's a
it is.
lie.
Hitler's birthday is on 420 as well.
Is it actually?
Yeah, legit.
Hitler's birthday. I'm just going to Google that bad boy just to make sure. Oh, he was born in 1889. What a year.
Whoa. Yeah.
There you go.
What a man.
That's beautiful. I'm going to have a look at his missus, Eva Braun, while I'm here.
Oh,
Not bad. Not bad.
Put your dick away.
Not bad.
Anyway, yeah. So it's 420, the International Day of getting fucking ripped and.
And just doing cool shit. What's the origins of that? I've never actually looked into it. It had something to do with
There's so many
a high
different
school or something,
stories. It had a lot to do with like that was the time where all the stoners would get together after school and get stoned.
Was it somewhere in... It was somewhere in like
somewhere in-
California or something.
It was like in
wasn't
the
it, or
US somewhere. It had
Yeah,
something
yeah.
to do with like that like California stoner culture that really sprung up in like the 70s.
Oh, right. So when did it catch on?
Exactly.
So has it been around since the 70s, but it did kind of caught on, with
Yeah,
the
Yeah,
internet
Yeah,
sensation.
the internet probably kicked it off. Like it has a lot of things. Like people being in love with Sonic the Hedgehog. That wasn't really a thing until the internet came around.
Bullshit. People that had Sega Mega Drives were fucking obviously in love with them.
You weren't humping Sonic plush dolls back in the day.
No, actually, I wasn't.
Wait, you aren't doing that now? You're not doing
You
that
don't
now?
have a Knuckles body pillow.
What is wrong with you, Christopher?
No, you dogs.
Speaking of 420, let's just jump straight into the first topic, which is, what would you do if you could do anything on 420? So, no financial limits,
Okay, no financial limits.
anything. You just can't time travel. You're not a time travel lord. But anything else you can do.
Can we obviously disregard if it's a normal 420, not 420 when the whole world's locked up?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. So that's the world rules.
Well then,
World rules.
You have to be in Amsterdam.
Yeah, you obviously have to be somewhere where cannabis is, and your only other really option is the Canada would be cool too.
Yeah, actually, Canada. This is their second 420.
Yeah,
I'm just going to put one out there that is an idea because it's technically something that is anything that you can do on 420, and that is smoke with Seth Rogen. Right?
Yeah.
Technically.
I don't think me and him would be the best of mates.
yeah,
I
there
think
would be
he's too
other people
serious.
that I would smoke with, like if I could choose.
Yeah,
before
I'm
I would
saying.
choose Seth Rogen.
Well, then that's the point. Who would you choose?
Oh, okay. So it's changed from what we're doing to who we're smoking with.
Well,
I
isn't
would
the question,
say-
what would you do
Well,
if you could do
well,
anything?
we start off with the settings. Start off
Yeah,
is we are
that's cool.
smoking with James Franco in Saudi Arabia.
But like, if you had to choose who you would smoke with, if you could choose anyone to smoke with, who would it be? Like, I'd probably say Tallis and Jaffe, but that's really, that's not many people would know who that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just picked Seth Rogen or Snoop Dogg or something because it's like such a in your face, everyone knows it kind of thing. It could be anyone.
Anyone. Who would you pick living, Chris? That's a question.
Willie Nelson. I reckon he had a
Willie
fuck
Nelson.
story. I reckon he had a fuck story.
Just so you can watch the man in action and be like,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is amazing.
I reckon he'd be pretty fucked.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, like, maybe Dave Franco and Alison Brie. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what about just, like, someone like Doja Cat or something?
Yeah.
What about
Yeah,
if okay?
yeah.
What about if I said I'm going to completely change the question
Wait,
here?
Beano.
But what if it
Beano.
was legal everywhere in the world? Where would you want to go then?
Oh,
If Amsterdam
okay,
wasn't
I'm still
in the question,
down for
so we're
Amsterdam.
talking world legalization.
Okay, world legalization anywhere in the entire world, I'd still probably choose
Anywhere in the world.
Amsterdam.
Really? Oh shit! No, that's difficult. I'd want to go somewhere really fucking like some cool like natural landscape. Like it'd be dope to imagine being at like Antarctica or something with weed
It's true.
and like
Cold
just
as fuck.
yeah.
Like Russia or something
But
like that.
like imagine like seeing those sights in real life while stoned off your
Yeah,
face
it's true. It's true.
and feeling the cold and stuff like that. Imagine experiencing all of that while stoned.
Yeah, and you can
that's
add
true.
in certain
Norway,
music and
like
ambience.
Norwegian
And,
fjords and shit stone.
Yeah.
That was pretty sick.
Yeah, like it's cool to just like get out into like the middle of the bush or the forest up here, like just by a river or something, and get stoned. You know, it's really calming and cool to be in nature when you're doing it.
Yeah.
So somewhere with like some cool landscapes that you wouldn't be able to find at home.
oh God, if you were talking world legalization, the
Like
list
Norway
would be
was cool.
thousands. The
Imagine
list would be thousands.
imagine being like what we did in Norway, like
Cruising around.
that's
like,
the optimum sort of scenario I like with weed.
All right. What about anywhere that you haven't been?
I agree.
Anywhere, and this is including Kyle's Europe trip. So
Oh,
let's scratch out. Let's just make things
Why are we
interesting.
scratching it
I'd probably
We're
go
just
with the-
changing. We're just
go-
changing on the flow.
I'd probably go with a different idea that way and go to somewhere like Egypt or something. Like imagine
Yep.
being in the middle of
Only somewhere
Imagine seeing the
naturally
pyramids.
impressive.
yeah
Like Switzerland, like Austria or something like that.
or Rome. Imagine that sort of shit.
Yeah.
Like being amongst all of the buildings and stuff there.
It's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
I just added
Russia, just in-
another
just in the
topic
middle.
off the top of my head.
Just in
I forgot about this one. I want your list of top-rated movies and music for 420.
well,
Like right now, if you had a
we're so bad
list
with movies
of
at the moment.
movies
Yeah.
right now,
We got up and had a couple joints this morning, and when we got back home, we're like, "Oh, you want to watch something?" And we couldn't decide what to watch. Like we've been really bad with movies lately. Like we haven't been watching movies while stoned, like
Right.
we used to.
Yeah, we just
Yep.
chill out the back.
Yeah, but
Weather's
music
really
on the
good
other
at the
hand, though, that's a huge thing. Like I personally, like I often just sit out the
chill
back
some- put some music
under
on.
the sun and just listen to some chill music while I'm stoned.
Yeah, I've sort of been doing a bit of everything at the moment.
Yeah.
Sort of.
so yeah, it depends on is it where your location is, or is it just where you are in life, or just like what why
just-
why is it
Usually
just
we're just
like-
at home anyway.
yeah, that's it. I'm not really watching much at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm just sort of hanging out with Teddy. It's just what we're doing mostly.
I suppose the other thing you got to think about is like realistically across the board with every person, how many people, including yourself, like would sit there sober and just listen to music for what music is
That's true as
without
well.
doing anything else.
I do that too.
I love.
Yeah.
I love road trips for that.
Yeah, I like
Cans are good.
I'll often just while I'm playing video games that I don't need sound for, I'll listen to
like
whole
Wow or
albums.
something like
I
that.
do that too. Yeah.
Or right before going to bed, like I'll probably turn all the lights off, chuck the headphones on, and listen to something that I really
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
listening to.
yeah.
Just back to your who to get stoned with. I think Beano. I think that's who if we were all three of us were together in a group.
Yep.
We'd teleport Beano. We'd summon Beano like we did with Chinese Marns that time.
Yes.
It would be
Summon
like, hey
him.
boy.
Would we use mead as the channeling object this time and like put him in the center again, and he would like be consumed by?
We could
Childish
bring Mead
Gambino's.
and then try and get Mead to actually sing Childish Gambino songs back to Donald.
Imagine us
Yeah.
just sitting around at the old house in Dennington, trying to talk to Childish Gambino, but Mead is hanging around with his guitar being really loud. And we're constantly like, "Oi, shut the fuck up! This is Childish Gambino, dude." And
I don't
he's
know who the
constantly
fuck
trying
that
to shut
is.
him up.
I've never
I don't know
heard
who
of him,
this
so
cunt
he
is.
must be that good.
Yeah, and then continues to play the
Childish
guitar.
Gambino, more like Childish Gambino shit.
Was he? He's not in Cold Chisel, is he? Then I don't give a
Oh.
fuck. I don't give a shit. Hey,
If you ain't
speaking
Pete
of
Murray, then I don't give a fucking
It's pretty
Dick's
damn
ass.
obvious that because of the day, we're going to keep this topic rolling.
Rolling.
But one thing I was thinking about in terms of right now, specific to this time with COVID, is that the money is being spent by the government in bulk, obviously due to JobKeeper and JobSeeker, etc. So they're going to need to pull that back in. How is this not the perfect time for legalization?
I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen. I reckon they've got an even bigger argument at the moment against legalization because they could very easily just turn around and go, "Oh, look, it sounds good in theory, but you've got all these people on unemployment now, and they're all stoners." So they'd also push in like mandatory drug tests.
That's fucked though, because if you put it this way, people who need medical marijuana, the people that use it without any THC or anything, they don't even get high from it. They actually just use it as medication. They legally can't get that. Yet alcohol is essential. Alcohol isn't just legal; it's essential.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how do we feel about that?
It's fucking weird.
It's fucking I do understand it though. Like,
let's just try and like argue it for both sides, like just for shit's sake. Like, why is it a good thing? Let's start with the hard one because I don't think it is a good thing. But why? Let's start with the hard one. Why do we think it's a good thing that it's considered essential?
I mean, there are people that are legit addicted to it, and like just going, okay, it's not essential, you can't have it, and just abruptly cutting them off would fuck them up.
Yes. Yep.
So
in terms of like,
there's a problem there, and that needs to be solved, and this is a way. I don't know if it's the best way, but it is a way.
Around it, and
it's probably the only reason I can think of, unless anyone else wants to put it in. But yeah, there's just so many more reasons to me why you wouldn't keep it as an essential service. Like, why the fuck is JB Hi-Fi an essential service too? Like stupid.
Like, I'd like to see
People
the
need to
numbers
buy
of like
home office equipment. They sell it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah. But wouldn't you just say, okay, then instead of keeping JB Hi-Fi, the government steps in and say, okay, we'll keep, I don't know, something that does sell that specific item, Officeworks, etc.
Officeworks, yeah.
You know, I mean, have the government done enough to step in and help?
Yeah, here they have. Kinda, and late, but we're doing better than most places.
Let's give our reasons why we think cannabis should be legalized in the country, regardless of COVID.
Just medicinal use. Like, me personally, I would love it to be legalized recreationally because I love using it recreationally. But like, it's not a top tier priority right now. But there are like pretty solid arguments as to why you should legalize it though, like the medicinal use.
Okay, let's remove medicinal. Let's say recreational. Could we follow in the footsteps of someone like Canada or like states in America, like Colorado, etc., and start to look at tax?
I think there's too much of a majority. I think it's going to come with a "we will if" sort of situations. Like it'll be the right wing party that brings it in, but with like a heap of like really shitty clauses.
Or like,
for
example,
but we're going to have to drug test all welfare recipients. So if you're on the dole and you smoke weed once in a month, you can get your payments cut.
Yeah. So they could actually fucking bring it in, and it could make things worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Because at the end of the day, you know, I mean, someone that's on welfare that's smoking once a month compared that can still get their payments but their drug is illegal. I mean, it's probably better off than getting your. It is better off than getting your fucking payments completely cut.
It just sucks. Like it'll be done in a shitty way, at least initially.
Yeah,
I think it'll take a while.
Yeah, nowhere else has followed suit except like America. Like Canada's the only country other than America and, you know, going to Amsterdam that's legalized it.
Oh, there probably is actually.
Like,
there probably is a few more. It's just like weird countries and shit.
Yeah,
like
the ones that are most similar to us, you know, that we could compare ourselves to if we'd done it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's sort of hard to gauge because it's hard to gauge how just like the common person would treat it. Like, is like the common person in Canada like a stoner now? Like we're casual drinkers?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's changed much.
Do you think our casual drinkers would be casual stoners?
That's what would be the gold ticket question is, do the people that drink alcohol, would they switch? Or are they
Yeah.
people already that smoke?
Or are there
I don't
people
know.
that would never touch alcohol, never touch drugs, end up smoking weed?
Yeah.
Yeah, or people that just don't like drinking, I think a lot of
Yeah,
those people
yeah.
go to weed.
But like,
Because, like, I don't hate the idea of getting drunk. I don't like being drunk, personally. But
Yeah.
there'd be a lot of people that are like me. Like, you don't like drinking.
yeah,
Like,
You know, and you got to
Like,
think
I
of
don't-
alcohol, you know, people that
that's-
casually drink on weekends compared
Yeah.
to actual alcoholism. I mean,
Yeah.
alcoholism is pretty fucking rampant throughout society. So it's obviously a common feeling that people enjoy.
yeah, yeah. Like, I reckon if it were legalized here, you would see a reduction in alcoholism, but how many people will start smoking weed? You know, like, what's the balance there?
Yeah.
Right.
Plus, also the other thing is, you know, the statistics that they get. I mean, who the fuck has never lied on one of those things? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
if they think, especially if they're, you know, it's like comes in a fucking comes in a package like, do you smoke weed? No or yes? It's like, no. So yeah, obviously the figures are going to be skewed a little bit.
Yeah.
do you want to hear some of the stats?
Sure.
You got some stuff.
Okay, so this is from a study done, or not a study, an article on October 18th, 2019.
Yep.
It was pretty much the 1 year anniversary since they legalized.
So this is for Canada, is it?
This is in Canada, this is their numbers. So,
Yep.
they were the first G7 country to do so, to make it fully legal, as opposed to America that has, it's still federally illegal.
Yep.
Figures show that a large number of Canadians still buy their weed from the black market 1 year after legalization. Like, we've got a friend that definitely still does that.
Yeah.
Because they've got, like,
You
close family friends and that
yeah,
have
you get it
quite
cheaper, you
large
get
operations.
better weed. Like,
Yeah. Like,
no regulations.
they get a lot of people they know.
Yeah.
It's, like, a lot easier.
The same as you
to go
would
to a
if
friend's.
it were.
Yeah, like, if I was growing, like, a whole greenhouse worth, like,
Yeah.
say, like, 70 plants or something, I would definitely be giving that shit away for free to my friends.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Or, like, dirt cheap. Heaps cheaper than fucking...
That's right.
Buying it off
You've
the-
still got a market there. I mean, at the
Yeah,
end of the
yeah.
day, the market's not going anywhere. You can undercut prices.
Yeah, that's it.
You know.
You just drive that, and you can do it easily because, the other side has to tax. So it makes it more expensive just straight off the bat. When something's taxed, it's like cigarettes here. That's just insane to smoke now because they tax them so heavily now. It's insane.
Yeah, it'd be the exact same if cigarettes were just recently legalized, but people
Yeah.
were growing tobacco. They clearly
Yeah,
the people that
exactly,
are growing
exactly.
tobacco are gonna be
There'll
benefit
still
from
be
it.
there'll still be a black market for tobacco, and it's probably even gotten stronger now that they've had
Tobacco is constantly fucking increasing. Like, I
Yeah.
work at a servo, so I sell tobacco and cigarettes and stuff. And legit, like, the lowest cigarette changes, it fluctuates, it goes up, like, every 2 weeks.
Yep.
Like, I've probably been at the servo for, like, a year and a half or something now, and the lowest cigarette has probably gone up, like, $10 in that time.
Wow. So that's across the board.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't matter on what type of cigarette it is or anything. Like,
No, just across the board, like the cheapest cigarette back then was, well, like the cheapest 20 pack was probably like $15,
yep.
and the cheapest now is like 25.
Yeah. What
So,
about the
would you like some other-
globalization? Sorry, not globalization. Corporatization of things. Like, let's say that they
Productions.
made it legal in Australia. However, the stipulation
if
was
the Liberal
that
Party
only
were in
5
charge-
companies get their hand in
If
it.
the
You know what I
Liberal,
mean?
if the Liberal Party was in charge of this legislation, like if they were the ones that pushed this through, it would only be if like a heap of their mates could make a shitload of money from it.
Right, yeah. So
Like-
as is for the last fucking 20 years, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. So just some more stats from that thing. Sales from the legal market in Canada in their first year were expected to total $1 billion. And that's a figure significantly less than the illegal market, which is estimated to be worth between 5 and 7 billion.
Wow, that is a lot.
So
That is
there's
a
still a
lot.
lot of illegal weed getting around.
Yeah, shit, yeah. 42.7% of Canadians who smoke weed also told the country's National Statistics Agency earlier this year that they still get some of their cannabis from illegal sources. Because they
Wow.
don't have friends that still grow.
Correct.
And this might take years for that to get rid of, and it never change. Like the
I wonder
government
what
might have to
the,
change the way they deliver it.
I wonder what it would be like in Australia, because obviously we've heard stories from Canadian people that we know about how the cops over there have that very relaxed and laid back approach to marijuana or cannabis.
Yeah, and they
I'm
wouldn't-
curious
even
whether
before legalization,
Australia.
I'm pretty sure they had pretty
Yeah.
lax. Sorry, I think it'll be different here because we're a lot more conservative, especially when it comes to the police. Like our police are very conservative.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just don't know
Where-
if I can trust a government that can't even do a fucking NBN correctly to implement,
Yeah.
you know?
that's also the thing. Like,
I feel like we're more like America, New Zealand is more like Canada. Like,
Yeah.
weed legalization would work easy in New Zealand, I feel
Oh,
like.
100%, yeah.
But not here.
or it'll be
you
one
know?
of those things where each state votes for it, and they'll all have their own legalization. Like it is kind of now. How,
Yeah.
like, you know,
If it actually went to a state vote, like I haven't done much traveling around Australia. Oh, yeah, this is what I want to ask you. What do you think it would be like if it was actually down to states? What states do you think would legal? Yeah, I haven't travelled Australia much, so I don't know the attitudes or culture so much around state to state.
I think we'd see South Australia. It depends who's in charge at state level at the time.
Right, yep.
Right now, I think Victoria would be one of the first.
Depends on how, would we have to vote for it?
Yeah, it goes, like, say at the next state election, there's also a side thing you have to vote for. Like, this happens occasionally with, like...
Yeah, just
like
like, do you
referendums and
agree
things
if
like
we
that.
bring in
Yeah,
this law?
like when we voted to be a republic, that was released on vote day, like election day. So you'd go in there, you do normal, like vote for your prime minister, vote for your member, vote for your senate, and then you had another card which was, do you think Australia should be part of a republic? And tick yes
Oh,
or no.
yeah, I remember that, yes.
So yeah, so they do it at a state level. At the next state election, it just be the next election. It just says, would you like weed to be legalized for medicinal and recreational purposes? Just something like that.
Yeah, and it's just a tick.
Full
yes or no.
legalization. Which states do you think would?
I
I wonder
reckon
which
South
one-
Australia would.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking at the moment, like they've got a Liberal Party in charge.
Yeah.
They're a very religious state too.
But they also had the 2 plants rule, don't they?
They do have, yeah.
But,
maybe,
like,
yeah.
how many Adelaideans do you know?
Yeah, all of them are pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Which
yeah,
state would
South
be the-
Australia,
Which state would be the
Um,
biggest one, the hardest one to get it in?
New South Wales,
You reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure?
Yeah.
Yep.
for sure. New South
Uh-huh.
Wales. I reckon Western Australia would be like, fuck yeah. Like, I reckon Western Australia would go early on it to try and get the tourism side. Because
Yeah.
it won't be like a thing that every single state
Yeah.
starts with today.
It'll bring people
Yeah.
to Perth.
I reckon
I'd
it's
be
just going to
curious.
get brought through. It's not going to get voted in. It will be actually brought in through legislation or
Yeah.
something, which is just as good.
Yeah, I'd
They'll
be
do it
curious to
quick
see if
get
there was a
tourism.
domino effect of any kind. Like if one
Yeah.
did one and then, copycat
Well, that's
mirroring
how it
kind
sort of
thing.
happened in America. Like, really, it started off. It sort of goes to really weird states.
Colorado was first, right?
No.
Was it Denver?
Denver's Colorado.
Denver is in Colorado. Sorry, I was thinking of the magic mushrooms. They've
It wasn't it wasn't LA, was it?
Nah, that
They
was
were
LA.
pushing hard for it early though.
I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Legalized.
We can have a squiz. We can have a squiz.
Yes.
Pull it up.
So, timeline of cannabis laws in the United States. Okay, prohibition
Just-
years. Decriminalization.
Yes.
Here we go. This
Have a
one
squizzy.
begins in 96. recreational begins. So do you want to go with recreational,
Yes.
or do you want to go medicinal?
No.
Okay, recreational. So recreational.
Oh, yeah,
was
that's right.
legalised
Fucking
first.
Washington State.
Yeah, recreational was first. Like legalization begins in 2012. So first year, 2012.
So 8 years ago. Right.
Yeah. Okay. 8 years.
That was
ago.
the same year that the Marns thought the year was going to end, and they fucked it up.
They got that wrong. Exactly. So Colorado and Washington become the first two states to legalize recreational use of cannabis following the passage of Amendment 64 and Initiative 502. Massachusetts approved a ballot measure to legalize medicinal cannabis as well.
Okay.
So 2013 was Vermont. That's where Bernie is.
Yep.
2013 New Hampshire. So these are all like northeastern states.
Yep.
Illinois, so where Chicago is, legalized medicinal cannabis.
Yep.
And New Hampshire was medicinal as well.
Yep.
Also, Vermont decriminalized cannabis. So then, what do we got? Utah becomes the first state to pass low THC, high CBD medicinal cannabis laws.
Utah Jazz.
So that was the first one. Yeah.
No. The first one is Colorado.
Yeah, first one was Colorado and Washington
Colorado
State.
and Washington State.
Yeah.
And then I think I'm trying to find the next one. New York's got medicinal.
LA, wasn't it?
Alaska and Oregon. Yeah, Oregon, because Portland.
Yeah.
That's a fucking weird town. Alaska as well is kind of very progressive as well. Yeah, so they were the early adopters. They've still only got like 12 recreational states, I think.
Yep. So that's what,
Got
one
that.
in every 4 or 5 over there? There are 52 states or something in America or something like that.
Yeah, about that. Michigan's going to do it. New Mexico's decriminalized. North Dakota's decriminalized. Illinois legalized recreational cannabis. That's right, because they've just recently started theirs. Hawaii decriminalized, and then Virginia decriminalized.
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Just smoking a J, going on a surfboard.
There you go. We've learnt a lesson today, boys.
That's right. You could go to Maui and look at the beautiful
Maui.
nature.
And look at the beautiful nature. There you go, Kyle.
There you go.
Whoa, what was the question?
No, there was no question.
I can't remember.
Okay, you guys ready? I'm going to jump straight into philosophical questions.
Oh shit!
Boom, boom, boom. It's like a lightning round.
Who wants to go number 1 and who wants to
Hit
go
me,
number
boy.
2?
Okay, so you're going to give us
We'll go
a
number
question
1.
each. You're not going to give us the same question.
Oh yeah, we'll just both answer the same questions, or like take it in turns.
What do you just want to
Answering
do?
the
Do you want to
question
answer
first.
both or do you want to take it in turns?
I reckon discuss an answer.
Yeah.
Like,
So
Oh,
maybe first
double
question.
dicking.
So
Space
maybe like
docking.
first question I'll answer first, and then Shakes will respond.
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And then
All
we'll
right.
swap.
So philosophical questions.
Sorry,
I've written
so
down
just
8 instead of
How's
5.
this working?
He'll ask the first question. I'll answer it.
And
Then you
I'll
answer
respond. And then I'll... Okay, yeah.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Philosophical questions. I've written down 8 instead of 5. So last time when Chris was on the podcast, we forgot the fucking philosophical questions. So the main
Yes.
5 are the start
Shit.
5. All right. So first one, obvious one. What is the meaning of life?
There really isn't one. I don't think. Like that's not meant to be like edgy and emo, but I don't think
You don't
there
think
really
we'll put
is
on-
one.
You don't think we'll put
Unless
here for a
or
specific purpose?
if there is one, like fucking we wouldn't know.
Yeah, my answer is the meaning of life is to find meaning in life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah.
actually quite beautiful. I like that. That
Yeah.
was
Finding something you love doing and doing that.
It's,
Like,
yeah.
It's not about money. It's about what fulfills you spiritually. Yeah.
Yeah.
cool. Okay. Like I said to everyone else that's
Now
been
I
on
feel
here
like it.
previously. No. Nathan, another fella came on the same thing, and he had a very nihilistic approach to that answer. Like
Yeah.
complete. Yeah, that's fine. Number 2. What happens to us after death? Now, Shakes, you answer, then Kyle.
Yeah.
I'll do mine's. We die. I don't know. It's really hard because I think about it more technically than anything. Like, you know, oh, this happens and this reaction happens, and like we don't know why our brain goes spastic and like floods it full of DMT just as we die, and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
So I don't know. I've always just sort of thought, to me, I came to terms with it very early. I was very, not morbid, but I was very much well, I'm going to die anyway, so what difference does it make? I've always been very much like that.
Yep.
I don't get scared about death. I just don't
You just
give a
accept
shit.
that it exists.
Yeah, that's it. I'm just like,
It'll happen.
Yeah,
It happens to everyone.
Yep. Do you have anything else, Kyle?
Oh.
Or was that the same kind of thing? Or
I'd like it if there was like some glorious afterlife where you go and, you know, smoke weed in the clouds with Snoop Dogg forever. Like, that sounds great.
Well, like, we know what happens to our bodies. Like,
yeah, that's it. That's what we do know.
You know, and is everything that we experience, is that our bodies? Is that our brain? Is that our brains and the way they're firing neurons and stuff like that? Is that our existence? Because if that's the case, then we know what happens to our bodies and our brains. We degrade into nothing. So does our perception become nothing? So essentially we're not experiencing anything? Or is our existence, what's the word?
consciousness.
Our consciousness. Is our consciousness separate from our bodies? Separate from our
and
brains?
we're never going to
It's
know.
going to be weird for me.
Yeah.
And
That's where it becomes like that sounds great and all, but I don't know how that
and
works.
then to me, as like a logical sort of, I lean logically on things. I don't know. I lean more towards, I don't know, like that's.
I mean, the way you just described it is logical versus faith.
Basically. We just stop experiencing things.
Yeah, that's sort of it. Like, I think
that's what it is. So
it's like a campfire. It just slowly goes out. Like we don't just like, it's not just a sudden stops. I think slowly like, you know, it goes into black and white, and then like it begins to fade into darkness.
Because then all the stuff we know about like the pineal gland or the pineal gland or however it's pronounced, I'm not sure.
But like, you know, if that floods your brain full of the same chemicals you get from smoking DMT, does that mean that you just go on like an incredible trip? Like, I've heard people just smoke regular DMT and have trips that felt like years. Like people that like lived whole other lives inside a trip.
Yeah.
Like shit like that
the
happens.
whole lifetime, and then they wake up back in.
What happens if you do die?
You know, so
and
what
then
happens?
That's what happens.
Maybe, you know, that's what's happening off like, you know, a couple of milligrams of this super potent drug. What happens when your blood gets flooded with, you know, maybe 15 milligrams or 30 milligrams of the stuff? Do you just trip forever? Is that your brain just going, okay, cool, let's just blast you into fucking subconscious super space?
Has there ever... Do you know if there's ever been recorded cases of, like, schizophrenic people or people with, like, multiple personalities? Are there any recorded cases linking someone like that to having, like, a ridiculous amount of that activity going on in their heads?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like naturally, yeah, that's interesting.
Would that
I don't know.
be
just makes their brain
cause?
Their reality's always just sort of constantly pixelating on the edges.
People seem to have those experiences when it's like a near-death experience too. Yeah, everything's, you know, slows down in time,
like
and
out of body experiences and stuff. I'm really skeptical with all that stuff.
Yeah, see, and that's it. Like, I always just get so like it's like UFO abductions.
Yeah.
Like, you hear one story and you've heard them all. Like, it's, you know, I got taken up into the craft and I woke up on a steel bed with all these things standing around me, and they took me out into the lounge room and showed me some porn on the TV and then zapped me back to Earth.
To me, it's
that sounds awesome.
To me, it's like watching fucking Chris. It's like watching Chris Angel mind freak with someone going, "Oh my god, that dude's actually got magical powers."
Yeah, and
holy
like
shit.
showing it to a dog,
and like you're
and
trying to explain to the dude, going, "No, he doesn't.
It's true.
This is how he does it," or like, "No, I don't know how he does it, but it's probably got something to do with this."
Yeah.
And they're going, "Nah, dude, he can levitate."
Yeah, no, that dude can fucking
Yeah.
make an elephant
Nah.
disappear.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
That guy can teleport.
I
you.
saw that with my own fucking eyes.
All right.
That's what it's like.
Question 3, boys.
Yes.
Are humans obligated to better themselves, and will that make them happier?
I think bettering themselves will make them happier. I think we're as much obligated to better ourselves as we are to just do fucking nothing. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think, someone that just sits on their fucking ass all day doing absolutely nothing, producing nothing, creating nothing, providing nothing. They're just nothing people.
Yeah.
Like that person we were having this discussion about the other day, Steve.
I don't name him, but I can't remember.
I'm not going to name them because
Oh,
but they're,
ding ding ding. Yeah.
Oh,
I
what's the
understand.
ding ding ding?
Yeah.
Is that the reference ding ding ding?
No. I was doing
It went
ding
off
ding
like-
dings the other day for changing topics, but no.
Oh, for Mars got off topic. Anyway, that's still the same thing I'm talking about.
Yes.
People are just as obligated to live a life full of nothing.
Yeah.
No
You're
satisfaction.
not. I don't
as it
think
is for
you're.
you to be able to live a meaningful and productive life.
Yeah. You're not obliged
Yeah.
to improve yourself. You don't have to. There's no rules of life
hey,
that
there's
say
plenty
you
of-
must improve yourself. But
There's plenty of
you
times,
probably should.
There's plenty of
Like,
times in my life where I've deliberately sabotaged
Yeah.
myself as well. Like,
yeah.
I've been in bad places mentally, which resulted in me doing some really negative shit to myself
Yeah.
and the people around me. Like,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like you're not obliged to live a healthy, good
Yeah.
life,
You
but
are-
you should. There
you
are
obli-
clear
you can-
benefits that you
are
fucking
just
should.
as obliged to be a cunt.
Yeah.
Like, you
It's
can be the
beautiful.
shittest. You can be the shittest dog in town, I reckon.
Yeah,
Like, and you have just as much of a right to be the shittest dog in town as what I do for being a fat, chill dude that
yeah.
is everyone's mate.
And then it comes back to like it depends on
G'day, mate.
how people like think of themselves.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you see, I don't know. You
There's
see people that are just absolute dicks. So
But you also see people that look at famous people as a fucking representation of what it is to be a fucking functioning adult in this current world.
yeah,
Like false idol kind of thing.
Yeah, everyone's got the ability to be that person. Like,
Yeah. In a certain extent. I don't think every single person could be Michael
Like-
Jordan. But,
No.
I know what
but,
you mean.
Plenty of people out there have gone and gotten arse implants to look like Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
Like,
but like there's always room for self improvement.
Oh, definitely, always, but
and
we-
it's
yeah.
not all, and like you can't run out of things to self better yourself.
yeah. But
That's
there's
a good one,
always
actually,
periods-
yeah.
There's always, but it's also acceptable to have periods of not relaxation, but
Oh,
like,
yeah,
just
like,
it's
you don't-
okay to just sort of turn the navigation off for a bit and fly
Yeah,
solo.
you
Like,
don't have to be
not have
the
a huge-
fucking the best person.
Yeah, you don't need to be. Yeah, you don't have to be sitting there every day training every single day to be fucking
Yeah.
Ian Thorpe.
That's interesting
Eating
because
the
you could
Weet-Bix in the
actually, you could fucking,
Everyone
it's
has
the flip
the
side
ability
to
to
it.
be that,
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
the amount of mental discipline it requires, the amount of
yeah,
They could burn themselves out.
Just think about the lifestyle change it would make to someone like you if you all of a sudden had to train 8 hours a day, like
Every single day.
every single day. And for a lot of the time, you're not getting paid to do this, so you have to have another job.
Yep.
Shit like that happens.
yeah.
Well,
That's
it
why-
actually, yeah, sorry, go. Yep.
Oh yeah, like I'm like with uni, it's been hard to motivate myself at home because I'm used to driving like 40 minutes every day down to get to uni. And then I'm at the lectures in person with friends that I know there, like taking notes
Go and talk shit
in the
between
room
classes.
with the lecturers.
Hmm.
And then like in between lectures and stuff like that, I'm in the library or hanging out with the
Eating
people that I know.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I come home and then I might do a bit of homework and then I go to bed. And
Yeah.
now everything is online. So it's
Yes.
like get up, Some of the lectures are pre-recorded, so you watch them anytime.
Yep.
You can't do pracs or anything like that. So it's like you have to make your own routine.
Yeah.
And I'm terrible at that. Like, you have to be really motivated to do that, I feel.
I think it could be it could be like a life, a time in your life. The only reason I say this is because I can attest to it when I went to uni. The first 2 years that I went, I fucking hated going to class. And when I went online, I wasn't super motivated, but I actually got better results. But if I was doing that now, I feel like I'd be in the exact same boat as what you are. I would rather go.
I'm the same. I'd have to go.
Yeah.
If I was doing a course, I'd have to go into TAFE every day. Like, I would have to go and spend 4 hours a day at the library.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why I kind of need to figure out how to do that with writing, because at the moment I don't treat writing like a job. And if I was to, actually say, okay, at 8 a.m. I have to be in the office and writing.
Yeah.
I have a lunch break. It goes from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock, and then from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. I'm writing again.
Yeah. Have a proper...
Yeah, make it a work day. And it's
and routine right now, across the board, around the whole fucking world
fucked.
right now is crushed.
It's just fucked. I went from waking up at 5:30 every morning and going for a walk to waking up when Teddy wakes up. I've turned all my alarms off. So tomorrow I've got an alarm set for quarter to 6. And I'm getting up and I'm going for a quick walk around the block. Like, go for an hour, come back, have some brekkie, and sit down and do some writing by 8 o'clock at the latest.
Yeah.
Yep. Since we've this kind of leads on to actual question question 4. Does life require a purpose and goal? Why or why not?
Doesn't specifically. There's been plenty of points in my life where I haven't exactly had a purpose or goal. Like, I'm at the moment in one of those sort of nebulous parts where we've just gone and made some major decisions about where we're going to be in 12 months' time.
Yep.
So, and like at the moment, so we're now in an active working towards goal period. Like, when we were leading up to going overseas, we probably all went through 6 months of getting prepared to go to...
Oh, of course. Saving money at our respective jobs.
You were saving money to come up and see us. Like, we were planning that shit months out.
Yeah.
Like, I had money put aside for certain things that we were going to do that week.
Yeah, you can break up sections of your life in parts like that.
Yeah. I've got money put aside for weed for when they came up in...
It ebbs and flows, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Ben, it got to the point where, we even convinced Ben to come up.
Yeah, Ben was going to be up here.
Ben was going to be up
1 month from today.
And it sucks because we really wanted to come up.
If things are back open nationally, I think...
Did you just summon a demon on that end?
He bloody just COVID-19 to the bloody server, mate.
I'm sorry, boys. I've got the Rona.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, okay, that's pretty good. Question 5. Does good and evil come from within? Why or why not?
Yeah.
Yes and no.
That's it.
Yeah, obviously, depending on how you grow up, depending on, how you interact with your environment, the people around you, is going to affect your decision-making and how you think. But also, your brain structure is a natural thing as well.
Yep.
Some people are going to be born genetically different. Their bodies would be different.
Yep. So it's,
look
so
at
it's a 50-50?
Elon Musk.
Yep.
Yeah, Elon Musk is just one of them people that was genetically lucky. You see the way he talks in interviews about his childhood and stuff like that, and he was just he was naturally gifted.
Yeah.
He's just super intelligent. So that comes into play as well.
Yep.
But yeah, it's sort of a mix of both.
So was Hitler born evil or was he taught evil?
I don't know. I don't know the science behind his brain structure.
If you had to guess.
No, he wasn't born evil. I think he was born ambitious. You can learn to become an ambitious person. It's like a fearlessness ambition. And I think it's sort of like that, power at all costs sort of people. Stalin was a power at all costs sort of guy. He was a lieutenant in a rebellion, and went, I want to be in charge, and pushed his way to the front. like Hitler did the same. Hitler was a no one forever,
Mm.
and then he got caught up in like some political illegalities where he was like, trying to challenge the system, and they put him in jail, and he sort of created a cult of personality and founded like a group, like finding a group of people around him that represented certain parts of his ethos.
Yep.
But did he have those sort of warning signs while he was a child? Was he one of them kids that would burn ants with a magnifying glass?
Stuff like that became, there were probably from the, was it called the, it was like the Red Night or something like that. It was like that night where they went and just killed all of the political rivals they had.
Mm.
Well, the Red Wedding, yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, it's pretty much the Red Wedding for like pre-Nazi Germany. So yeah, they went and killed a whole bunch of people. So I think that's when it changed.
Yep.
When it went from being a power at all costs to literally all costs. I don't care about the cost of human life.
Yep.
I think that's how it sort of went. It changed, and it changes people, and it's that absolute power corrupts absolutely sort of situation where I think you become ambitious to a point. Like Jeff Bezos,
Trump.
Not that we know of, he's not doing anything evil. But he's the richest man in the world and could literally kill every human being on the planet with a laser. Like he could, he is so rich that he could explode our planet with a space laser right now.
Yeah.
He could develop the technology to shoot a special beam cannon at the moon to stop all the Saiyans from transforming into Bazuras.
Are you saying the CEO of Amazon
is going
to blow up? Anamic?
No, I'm just saying he's going to blow up He's going to take King Piccolo's.
I've never actually seen a picture of him. Is he green? Does he have?
He actually does look like a monster.
Does he have?
He looks like Gollum.
Mark Zuckerberg looks like a fucking robot, and I will fight that
Mark
cunt.
Zuckerberg looks like a robot. He talks like a robot. He acts like a robot.
Can we fight that cunt in real life, please?
I was thinking about that the other day. We're talking about people fighting, and I reckon I could beat the shit out of Mark Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg is some sort of eldritch being. He's like some sort of ancient spirit that's like just been trapped in some person's body, and he's trying to act like a normal person.
Jeff Bezos looks like one of the machine elves from DMT trips.
Jesus, he does. Oh, so that's what happens when you smoke DMT. The bloody CEOs of major corporations are standing there. Hey, boys, how you going?
G'day,
All right, you ready for number 6?
Yeah. Yes.
Why do we strive for perfection if it is never attainable?
Well, who says it's never attainable?
Because every step towards it is an improvement.
It's a step towards attainability.
And improvement is usually good.
Yeah, I think improvements, like when I was younger, I was a lot more sexist, racist, homophobic.
Yeah.
So I improved all that. It's attainable to stop being a homophobic person.
And as long as you understand that perfect isn't unattainable.
Yeah, and not that. Yeah, that's it. I refuse to believe that.
Then, like, striving for perfection is a good thing.
Yeah. I think it's a motivator.
Yeah.
So, give me an example of something you think that is perfect.
I reckon, like, something that is regarded as beautiful as some, like...
Well, that's
Van
what I mean.
Gogh's
We were just
Starry
saying
Night.
it's, like, it's unattainable. Like, that's why it's so hard to think of
it is
something that's perfect. Because it's so hard to attain perfection.
Also,
it's something that it's finite. At that point, it becomes finitely like intricate in how attainable something, how perfection becomes. I don't think perfection is an end, is a desirable end goal.
Yep.
It's like infinite. You know, describe something that's infinite.
Well, that's it. Space. Well, and space apparently isn't infinite. Apparently, space is not infinite.
Yeah.
So. But it's incomprehensibly huge.
Yes.
So, I think perfection as a quality isn't something you can strive for, because it's at a point where you can no longer become any better at something.
Yeah.
Even the best fucking baseball player in the world is still going to be training harder every single day to become better.
Just strive for betterment.
Yeah.
not perfection.
Yeah, that's it. That's how I agree. That's what I reckon.
And just know that there's
Improvement,
always
not-
room for betterment.
Yeah, and there's
Like,
always, in anything you do.
You're never going to stop getting better.
Yeah, like I'm trying really hard now to think to like improve the way I address like trans people and that, like trying to figure out using people's pronouns and things like that, because it's very little effort on my part.
Yeah,
For
and that's,
something
again...
something that's not going to be shit towards someone else.
Over that time, that view of better changed.
Yeah, that's it.
So that's another thing too. It's adapting, not just bettering yourself.
But something like transgenderism was so much less complicated when I was a kid, because when I became sexually aware of stuff, to me a transvestite was a chick with a dick.
Yeah.
That's what you got told, because that's what was in the movies. It'd be like some really big, tall black guy that talks like a man and is just dressed like a woman. So it's like, comedic.
Oh, have you seen this infamous movie, Anger Management? There's a scene in that.
I think Ben Ryan has.
Yeah. There's a scene in that where what's his name?
Adam Sandler.
Jack Nicholson.
The dude.
Jack Nicholson's not in that, is he?
The dude from True Detective, not Matthew McConaughey, the other one.
Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson plays a transvestite hooker. So it's just Woody Harrelson in a blonde wig with lipstick. That's what I think of whenever.
But then you also know people.
That's what I thought of.
Yeah.
Whenever.
And now knowing someone that's transgender, I worked with a chick that was when I first started working with her, she was just starting trans. Did you work with she worked at Sea Temple for a bit. She might have been at Ramada by the time. Actually, I reckon she was at Ramada by the time you got to Sea Temple.
It was a male to female.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I may not have worked with her.
Hey,
I
Shakes.
say a name.
Shakes, so you know, Jack
Yes.
Nicholson is literally the lead character other than Adam Sandler in that film.
When Kyle said,
it's amazing.
have you ever seen that movie Anger Management? I was going to reply with,
No, I don't want to.
I've never seen it.
If me and Ben were watching it together,
Yeah,
we'd
I
be singing that.
I know.
I'm so pretty.
Yeah, you
I'm
would
so
Ben.
pretty.
That night that you found out that Ben knew that movie word for word.
Mate, we were vibing off each other like crazy.
All right,
Oh
number
my
7.
God. What we can do now that we've got this live streaming thing happening,
Bounce.
we can live stream watching a movie like that, and then have you and Ben sit there quoting,
Oh.
just playing Happy Gilmore and having Ben sit there and
I
quote
need
the
to
whole
be
movie for
cooked
us. That would
with
be
Ben
good.
in front of me.
Imagine that, getting Ben involved. Anyway, Steve,
Number 7.
7.
Now, this one will be a good one. You'll like this one, I think. This is a new question. Should there be limitations on free speech? And if so, how much?
Your right to free speech ends the moment you use it to hurt someone or incite hurt on someone.
Yep.
That's how it's pretty much defined now. That's loosely what I think everyone... That's the ground rules everyone agrees to.
If you're causing some sort of damage to someone's body, like to someone's health,
Yeah.
or...
If you're using your free speech to hurt someone,
Yeah.
So
Emotionally,
basically, hate
verbally-
speech kind of thing.
hate speech...
But there's a certain cut-off limit there when you define that too. Some people's views would be different from case to case.
Yeah. Like, for example, you could say something to someone that actually really hurts them, but then you could go say the same thing to 10 other people next to them, and they're like, no, that doesn't hurt
I
me.
could say something right now to you to really hurt your feelings. Like, I could do that. I have the power to do it. I know what would upset you. But I'm not a cunt.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know?
But what about if you don't
Yeah.
know that person?
If I don't know, I also probably wouldn't do it anyway. Like, I'm not the sort of person that...
What reason do
hurts
you
people.
have
To hurt someone.
to approach someone, whether it's someone you know or a stranger, and deliberately make their day worse?
Yeah.
Make
If-
them feel worse.
Sure.
What
but
reason?
you watch
What
those-
reason would you ever
you
have?
watch
I
that
don't
classic
think you do
video.
have one.
If you watch that classic video of Richard Spencer standing there, talking about how he's I'm not a Nazi. The Nazis actually hate me. I think blacks are not even a race equal to mine. Fuck the Jews. It's all just being really nonchalant about being a racist piece of shit. He's a Nazi, dude. Have you ever heard of Richard Spencer?
No.
He got the dude that gets punched in the head. He's got like the Pepe lapel pin. He's talking about that, and some dude like he's getting interviewed. Some dude just runs out of nowhere and like King hits him and knocks him out. That's what happens when you use your free speech to hurt someone.
Yes.
Is you get your head kicked in.
Yes.
You know those. I'll find the video for you, Kyle.
Yeah, regardless of what law says,
yeah.
usually like justice is pretty fucking instant. You know, someone starts preaching, you know, white power sort of stuff on public transport in a major city here. Someone will fucking knock them out.
Yeah, of course.
Sure. You don't need to say.
Yeah, you don't need to enforce the law on that. Like civilians will fucking enforce it.
So this is the video. Here you go. This guy is the Nazi. Do you want to see it? Have you seen this video too, Steve?
No, it's okay. I'll watch it after.
Okay, I could just live stream it.
Yeah.
But that's
because you know there's other people listening. They can't see the video.
That's right. They can't see.
Yeah, and that's what like leaders like Trump or
like, how many fucking times has Trump said something that is just ridiculous?
He has such a huge audience and such a huge influence.
Yeah.
That changes for him personally. He has more responsibility for what he says.
Yeah, because he's got the platform and the influence to do that.
I can't say something and then have a bunch of people go, yeah. You know, I don't have that platform. So I don't have that responsibility with my free speech.
Do you think if Donald Trump was just a regular guy, or maybe even semi-famous, but he was in, let's just say he was, you know, in a TV show that was quite well known or whatever, so he's B-grade actor, C-grade actor, whatever. Do you think that the things that he has said currently, or over the last 5 years or whatever, they break free speech?
No. I don't think he's directly incited hate. He's used his words very carefully.
So grabbing by the pussy could be one thing.
That's not hate speech. I don't think you can shrug that off as not hate speech. It's vulgar and horrible sort of shit to say, but it's not hurting anyone.
Yeah, again, like
it can be like it can be seen as degrading to women.
Yeah.
What about his speech against the Mexican people?
It's more vulgar than it is sexist. Which one? What Mexican one?
The one where he said that most of them are rapists and murderers, but some of them are, I assume, are good people.
He definitely should be held accountable.
He should be held accountable for any. Like he should be responsible for any actual violence that was brought about because of that.
Do you think it'd make a difference if he wasn't president? Obviously, like
it wouldn't have had the reach. I don't think.
Yeah, like I think it applies to every person. I think that would apply to me if I said something like that. Yeah. But because he is president, he has more of a responsibility. No, I'm not.
He's unfortunately in a position where his words everything he says gets captured.
Yeah, that's it. If I say something like that, like the entire population of America isn't going to hear it and respond to it.
Yeah.
Correct. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's a complicated sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like freedom of speech it should be policed better with that sort of stuff, but. You know, he managed to get through a court case where he's convinced them that he's not responsible for what other people do after he says things.
And that's why the truth is so important.
Yeah,
because...
and that's how Trump has been so successful.
Yeah,
he's been able to distort the truth.
Yeah, you can say things and people will believe them. Then there's so much fucking weight and responsibility in that. And he's just abusing it every day. Like, you can see it. Like, any idiot can see that. Like,
it's not even that he's abusing it.
It's just blunt, straight up lies.
Yeah, it's easy. It's so easy. Because if anyone says, "Oi, man, that was a straight up fucking lie," you just tend to go, "Well, you fake news, so."
Well, you're an asshole. You're bad at your job.
You're bad
you should be ashamed of yourself. Next question.
You?
It's almost become
you're
a fucking
nasty person.
Yeah, a little bitch fest. Like, imagine what the debates are going to be like with Biden. My God.
Oh my God. Biden is going to be so bad. He's so dumb. He can't fucking talk.
Correct. He's just going to get slaughtered.
Have you watched videos of Biden trying to talk?
Yes, it's terrible.
He just talked that, and then well, one time when I was only 8, and then I was. Well, you know what they say. You can't fix a door without, cleaning a mirror. That is how he fucking talks.
Yes.
How is he even allowed to be at the front? They pretty much just went, hey,
hey Joe, you got the job. He'd be like, what?
Cool.
What fucking
job?
year is it? What? It'd be what's his name out of
forgot
Jumanji
Obama's
in the
name.
Jumanji movie.
He was Obama's 2IC, and then he was like, you know, remember when I was vice president under president, the president. You know,
Wow.
he said that. No,
That's
President Barack. Like shit like that. He's retarded. He's actually got something wrong.
Dementia.
No, it's not
It's maybe
retardism.
something like
He's
that.
got dementia.
Yeah.
He's having. I reckon he's actually having like mini strokes. You know how you see people like get hurt over time with strokes. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
And like eventually their face symmetry goes all weird. Like one side sort of starts drooping because they're having so many strokes on one side of their body.
I will say one thing. Even though
He's
Donald
fucked.
Trump sucks ass, him and Donald Trump Jr., sometimes I see some of their tweets and they are fire. Like, they are funny. They can be funny.
I think Trump's very good at like just full on just sticking his finger up at cunts. Like
Pretty much, yeah.
he does a victory lap better than nobody.
Correct. A victory
Holy
lap about
shit.
himself and then just fucking fucks off into wherever he goes.
Oh, he's just fucked.
He is the
such
greatest
an
Big Jam
entertaining-
Lord to have ever lived.
Yeah, it's just such a strange time we're living in.
Correct.
Like, you know, but now it's not funny anymore. Like,
No.
I found it really entertaining to watch the whole thing, and I found it kind of funny, but
It's
now
kind of like
it's-
you've been
yeah,
watching
now
a
it's not
TV
good.
show, but now you realise, oh, fuck. I actually want this show to end. The seasons are
Yeah.
getting shitty.
Yeah, it's like Walking Dead.
Yes.
There's
That's
like
a good one.
6 people
Dexter.
that-
Anything after season 4. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Correct. All right, let's go
Dexter- Yeah. Anyway,
Let's jump into
Number
8. You ready? Last question.
Number 8.
Will artificial intelligence ever achieve sentience?
Yes.
And is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Oh, well, if we continue on our trajectory,
Oh,
yeah,
definitely.
it will.
Yeah.
It definitely has to be one of those milestones that we have to cross in order to.
It's like the
improve.
singularity. Like, you know,
Yeah.
the singularity is an
Yeah.
inevitable part.
Whether
of the
we
future.
get there or not, like, you know, whether we exist for long enough to get there, is a maybe.
Or, you know, is the singularity something that only the
Yeah.
rich and powerful ever get access to? Like,
Yeah.
do you think if the technology to like upload your own consciousness into a computer
Yeah,
was developed, that the rich would hide that from the poor, like avoid giving
Yeah.
it to them as much as
Yeah.
possible?
100%.
In America, they can't even give them fucking healthcare, man.
I know.
Like, they can't give them healthcare, so how the fuck would you expect them to even consider giving away access to a...
Have you seen the
neural
videos
network.
of the protests in Michigan, etc.?
Yeah,
bullshit.
it's been fucking weird.
How
It's
crazy
really
is that,
watching.
man? Like, imagine, like, that's Federation Square, right? And people are
Yeah.
protesting and they've got fucking ARs on them.
Yeah. And these people are like all carrying around fucking 50 cal sniper rifles.
It's insane. to
Fuck,
me.
it's mental.
Like, I
Like,
just...
we've been talking about it the last couple of days, haven't
Yeah.
we? Just what we're watching an empire fall in
yeah.
like actual pretty quick
It's
time.
like being there for Rome burning. You know, it's like watching Rome burn. Like, we are experiencing a monumental event, like, at that
Yeah.
scale right now,
Yeah,
and we're
definitely.
watching it live. It's
Yep.
being broadcasted live. Like, we're experiencing.
We're gonna see. I reckon we're gonna see states go to war against each other.
Yeah.
Like, you'll have two states that are next to each other. One's progressive and has like really strict lockdown laws in place, and they shut down all their their state borders and things like that.
Yep.
And then you've got like a really aggressive militaristic one next to them. I reckon you're gonna see something like that happen. I think Oregon's one of those states that have like a really high amount of gun ownership.
Look at how fucked Florida is right now.
Yeah, Florida's just like there's like more guns in Florida than anywhere else in the world or something like that. It's
Yeah.
insane.
That fella that I said that I was going to get on, the American fella, he's from New Mexico. He's a really nice guy. Obviously, ideologically, we stand different. You know, he's heavily religious boy, grown up in that
Okay,
environment. He's a pro-gun person.
Yeah.
But he lives
I'm
in
not
a
even
state...
particularly anti-gun either. Like,
Sure.
I get it. Guns are fucking cool.
Yeah.
I totally understand that. Like, it'd be cool to use guns to like go out to a shooting range or go hunting or something like that. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, we thought about how fun it would be to actually invest in like a crossbow or something. I know it's a little bit side.
Yeah. But you know, you don't need a gun that can pump out 1,500
That's
rounds a second.
It comes down to like
no
when
gun
you were
stuff.
at high school and you had a common room and one asshole student would like wreck the sink or the toaster or something or do something dumb as fuck.
Fucking put
And then the
something in
teachers would
microwave.
punish the entire year level and say you can't use the common room anymore.
Yep.
It's like that in different countries, and each country is like a different year level, you know? Like, and America is kind of fucked. Like, they're letting them have all of these things, and they shouldn't. Like, it's like giving weapons to the kids that are in detention.
Yep. I think the argument that I like, that I just fall back on for anti-gun, that I can't seem to flick my head around is, you know, pro-gun people say, you know, it's protect. Okay, that's understandable. But what about if you take all the guns away? What are you protecting from? And then they say, oh, well, you can protect yourself from someone with a knife. Well, isn't that person going to stab you anyway, regardless of gun laws?
How often are people like stabbing?
Yeah,
you
and that's
with
it. And
knives?
that's it. Like, it doesn't fucking happen.
See,
Like,
and maybe
knife-
that's something that we can't relate to personally
Yeah.
because we are from Australia. Like
to
we
me-
don't think, oh shit, I need to protect myself somehow just in case someone stabs me today. Every day. We
I
don't
don't
have
think
that.
I know
thought.
a single person
Yeah.
in my entire like friendship group that has ever had someone come up to them with a knife and go, "Oh fuck."
Yeah, we just don't have that risk, so we don't think about it.
Yeah, that's
so
that's
like,
good.
is America that different? That like,
But,
it
like, and we
actually
weren't-
is the crime rate
And
that
we
bad?
didn't fetishize weapons like America did when our gun laws changed as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of different and weird. Was that a tangent or was that the question?
No, that was a tangent, but that's fine. This question was artificial intelligence, but that's fine.
Oh,
Oh,
fuck
yeah.
me! How did we get there?
Yeah, no. Artificial
Holy
intelligence. We'll get there.
shit.
We'll
All
get
right,
there.
so
As-
let's
as
say
long as
we
yeah,
do.
definitely.
If
we
we
definitely
if we exist long enough, we'll get there.
Yeah, I
Is
think-
it going to be
I think
good
it'll
or
be in the
bad?
Twilight of the human race. I think it'll be seen as a. I think by the time artificial intelligence becomes a thing, we'll have the singularity. The singularity would have happened as well. For those that don't understand that, the singularity is a point in history where all current trajectory seems to suggest that at some point in the next sort of 100 or so years, we're going to develop technology to upload our consciousness into a supercomputer and continue to live and exist and experience like fucking real things
Yep.
in simulation.
Yep.
Like think of the Matrix. Like you're inside. You know, it feels right now. I'm in a room with Kyle. I could slap his face right now.
You can
And he's
suck
not
him
actually
off.
here in the room with me. He's plugged into a computer somewhere.
But like, how do you know that that's what AI is going to look like? In
no,
the
no,
future?
that's not something AI is going to look like. I think we'll have that when around about the same time as AI.
Yeah.
Like AI will maybe something like what they did in the Matrix, where they see the amount of energy we give off as
Yeah,
you know, body as energy, and then they can power their machines from it. Like that's what we probably have.
yeah.
Yeah, AI will become more dominant than us. We'll become almost their cattle. Like,
Cool.
but our consciousnesses will live forever in a machine, so it doesn't really matter.
But then
anymore.
again, that's when it comes down to what's consciousness.
yeah. Well,
Our
that's it.
that's
T-
that's
top-
something
but
we have to
they've
figure out
been
in
able
order
to-
to achieve
Yeah,
that
they're able to
AI.
simulate consciousness. They're able to
Yeah.
project things into your
That's what I mean.
consciousness.
Like,
it's sort of
We're
becoming-
very, very far away from that.
Yeah,
like,
that's
if
it.
you
We're-
think about it, like, we were just discussing about, what even is consciousness? Is it our brain matter?
Yeah, I don't think we quite
What is
understand
it? So how do we even upload that to
Yeah.
some sort of
I think-
simulation,
I
some
think
sort
the
of
way
computer,
that
if
our
we don't even
brains-
know what it
yeah,
is?
I reckon once things like what
It's
Elon
like
Musk is
uploading a
working on.
ghost.
You know that stuff he was talking about, neural networks, where it's like a subcranial
Yeah.
like pretty much input.
And that's what I mean. Is that us, or is that a copy of us?
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Well, that's what. It
Are we
becomes.
going to...
That's where all the
Are we gonna
that's where all
go,
the ethical complications come
and
from.
then
We become
dive into
copies
the
of
computer?
copies of
Like,
copies
we're
of
not going to perceive.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly.
We're ultimately deleting ourselves and putting a copy of our existence
Yeah,
in something.
it's like me going, I hate her. I got this.
Yeah.
I got this picture.
We're not
I have this
achieving
picture of Jake
some.
Here's this picture of Ben standing in front of a sign that says "hung."
Yeah,
This is the same picture as the other one.
nice.
It's not.
No one can see this.
It's Ben. There's Jake.
No
That's
one
Ben.
Can see.
That's
yeah, but no,
Christopher's
that's what I
brother.
mean. Like that's what it is. I'm just made a copy of that. It's exactly the same picture, is
Yeah.
it or isn't it?
Yes.
Like, consciousness is a unique thing, so I don't think you can copy it quite the same way. But
Yeah.
that's like a whole different question.
That's what I mean.
Such a dangerous fucking.
Like, are you sure we'll achieve that? Like, because at the moment we don't even know what consciousness is.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we need to.
Yeah, that's good because it's not a tangible item. It's not like an apple that we can just go copy, you know?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden we're in it and experiencing it.
Yeah.
And also, all of your experiences are in your body. You are taking away your consciousness, in asterisks, and putting it in another body. I mean, how does that work?
Yeah. Again, we don't know what our consciousness is.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? What are we physically doing when we say we're transplanting consciousness? Are we taking a chunk of the brain? Are we spiritually summoning something? You know, what do you mean when you say that? Because we don't know what consciousness is.
If you pull someone's brain out, for example,
Yeah.
like just take their brain out, these are all their thoughts, these are all their feelings, these are all their memories, all their everything. And put it in a machine and copy it into a computer, and it's sitting there going, "Oh, hey, it's me. I'm still alive, but I'm in a machine now. This is so cool. Okay, cool. Here's a UI in front of me. What sort of life do I want to live? Okay, I want to be somewhere where there's a beach. I'm gonna hit that. Cool. I kind of like the city. Bang. Oh, but I really like winter. Bang.
Yeah.
Like,
again, when you upload it though, like, it's the same as when you're scanning a document. If you're scanning a sheet of paper, you scan it, it uploads to the computer, and then you can view it. But is that the piece of paper?
yeah.
No.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. It's a new.
It's not you.
It's a copy. Anyway, it's getting this.
Oh, bloody hell, boys. That's too much. You bloody blow me head off.
Yeah, we're way too gone for that.
Hey, since we've tangented, let's tangent to something that both of you guys can talk about in depth, I would say. I wrote down this as a topic because I thought it would be cool for you both to discuss. Basically, RPG games and Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons, boys.
So what for someone that's listening that has no fucking idea or has obviously heard of the name, how can you explain it to someone who has never played it before, has no idea?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Don't read it off a website.
It's
Dungeons and Dragons is what's the word?
It's a fucking board game, man.
It's a cooperative storytelling board game.
Yeah. So what you would do traditionally, and like, it's evolved over time, but traditionally, and I think is the best way to do it, is you would get a group of people together, a group of friends. Like, optimally, you'd want one person who runs the game, and he would know what he's doing, he or she, whatever. And then you'd want probably around 4 other people to play the game. And what you do is you just gather around like you're playing a board game. Yeah. But you make a character that you want to play, and it's usually in a fantasy setting, think Lord of the Rings, you know, so you can be an elf, or you can be a dwarf, or whatever. You make one of those characters, and then basically the DM, the person that runs the game, will create challenges, and they'll create a setting. And what they will do is they will role play each character. Like, you can imagine a video game. If you're in a tavern and you walk up to a bartender and talk to them and the text comes up or whatever, you're basically doing that at a table, and the DM is acting. They're playing the bartender, the NPCs.
Right. Yes.
So, you know, you can play an elf and walk up to the bartender and talk to him like this, be all fancy or whatever. And the DM will respond.
How is it confined? Like, obviously, rolling dice confines it a little bit.
Yeah, well, the characters that you make will all have different skills, different traits, like all of us. Like, some of us are more athletic than other people. Some of us are more charismatic, you know. So when you're making your character, you fill out a character sheet. And then what usually happens is when you're determining the outcome of something, when you're telling the story, you roll dice to determine what happens. So say someone says, I want to leap over that table and then keep running. You would go, okay, roll me an athletics check. And then so they will roll a 20-sided dice, and then they will have a modifier. So if they're a really athletic kind of person, it will be bigger than others, and they will roll that 20-sided dice, take the number, and add those together, and they will tell the DM, and however high it is, the more successful they are. So,
Yep.
If they rolled an 18, they'd easily, jump over the table. If they rolled like a 4, they'd probably attempt to, and then, smack their knee on the way up, and then take their time getting over it.
Yep.
Natural 20, they just, flip over the table and keep running.
Now, these settings that you said, are they always campaigns that, do you always usually follow like a Dungeons and Dragons campaign, or can you start your own, or?
It depends on who's running it. It depends on what everyone wants to do, really. There are a lot of guides that, there's a proper D&D company, and they're constantly working on new stuff. So they will create adventures to give to DMs. So there would be basic outlines for settings and
hey, you want to run a more naval campaign?
Give them maps.
Here's a campaign for that. Here's a whole bunch of stats, ships, and that sort of monsters.
Ideas for monsters and stuff like that. Or you could make up whatever the hell you want. You could set it in whatever land you want. You could do a Lord of the Rings one if you want, or you could just make it up
Lord
in
of the Rings, Star Wars. Star Wars. What's it called? D20 Star Wars?
Or make up your own thing.
Star Wars Cyber Edition?
Is it something that you would prefer to do socially or on the internet?
Socially.
Oh, socially.
I prefer to have a group of people. When I'm back in Warrnambool, because I think it's sort of inevitable at this point, we'll head back at some point. I'll be trying to join at least 2 games a week.
Yeah. How long do the game sessions usually last that you guys have played?
I play... I used to play weekly. I play 2 times a week now, the same group.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was one time a week, and they're usually 3-hour sessions, 3 hours ish.
Yep.
Give or take.
Are they the same now? Do you still do 2 lots of 3?
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Just because everyone's got more time. The majority of people that I play with are teachers at a school.
Oh, right. So basically, because of COVID,
they're all in lockdown. They're like, well, we don't have much to do. Basically, might as well just play another night.
I like the idea of that though, because I was talking to Chris the other day, and we were saying about how sometimes and Chris, you said that sometimes I just can't be fucked playing video games right now, and I'm sure there's people out there
sort of at that point again
that are like
I go
that.
through phases where I'm it's about 5th on the list at the
I
moment.
feel like you playing, Kyle, Dungeons and Dragons twice a week is taking an opportunity to do something that you love that you may not get to do twice a week during.
I was gonna say, this is when you play D&D,
and you're about to start running your own game again.
When you start playing D&D, it really sinks its claws in. It's not like video games. You want to fucking play it. And the thing about D&D is you can't just get home from work, crack open a beer, walk into your bedroom, and then play Dungeons and Dragons. You need those other people, and you need to organize it, and everyone needs to be prepared. It's not like flicking on the Xbox. So you really fucking look forward to it each week.
Yep.
So now doing it 2 nights a week, I've got 2 nights to really fucking look forward to.
Yep. Well, that's the thing, obviously.
You always want more.
I reckon the lockdown will soften ways that you'll be able to go and do it face to face before you have to go back to work.
Yeah, you were asking before what's better in real life or online, and I'd never played in real life before, and for ages and ages I'd wanted to. I'd played online in a few different campaigns, and I found I didn't really like it that much, to be honest.
Yep.
And I found a group here, a local group. One of the people, there's a cafe I go to, I'm a regular, and one of the people working there saw my Critical Role shirt. It's like a TV show that plays Dungeons and Dragons. And we started talking about that. She's like, do you play? I'm like, yeah, I've played before. She's like, oh yeah, I've got a group, you want to join? I'm like, okay. So I played with a bunch of randoms one day, and I've been playing with them since. So we'll take it in turn switching which houses we'd go to. It's usually a Friday night. This was before lockdown.
Yep.
And we'd actually, meet up at someone's house. We might have a dinner together or something like that, and then just play. And some of them will drink a beer or a wine or whatever.
Yeah, and for me, it's just catching up with my school friends. The people in my group are all pretty much guys that I sort of I was good friends with in high school or in my early 20s.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like Lex and Al and all those sort of people.
Yeah.
Like my little brother gets involved a fair bit because he's just a slut for D&D.
I suppose it's obviously harder for you though, Chris, because you're not near each other, so you kind of have to play online.
Oh man,
exactly. That's why I said, like, when I'm back home, I'll still be playing Alexa's game, but I'll be probably in 2 local sessions. I'll be probably in 3. Like, I'll probably even run a game.
Yeah, that's another thing
I would love to run a game.
You can't exaggerate. Is like when you're in person, it's so much more fun. Just because, like, if you're especially like playing in character, like, it's so much easier to have a conversation as another person with people around a table rather than people.
This is probably a good example that Steve will understand. You've played the Game of Thrones board game with us online before, haven't you?
I don't think I played it online. I think I've only played it in person.
We played it on Tabletop Simulator with a whole bunch of random people. Like Matt Johnson was in there.
Yeah.
Friend of the show, former guest Matt Johnson.
I've never actually played online with you guys, but still continue.
Okay, but we've played it online a few times now, and it's just never been fun.
It's never the same.
It's not the same. It's not the same because you can't sit there
physically pass round notes and banter with each other and whisper and
like wink and nod.
Well, that's what I said when I said I've been. It's fucking the worst timing to start this podcast because of COVID. I can't get anyone over here. But
the
even
ones you do get, it's like super rare.
Yeah, and the first episode I did with Matt was in person, and I haven't had one in person since.
Yeah,
and it's just.
Did you do one with Corey in person?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought he came over.
No. So all of them have been. Over the internet. It's just some have been by webcam, like we've got now. Well, I don't have one on my end. That's the only thing.
Yeah, that's right. We didn't exactly say in advance. Like you had the option that you could have chucked the laptop.
Yeah, that's fine.
But anyway, playing in person, it's so much better because there's
you are acting. You are acting.
Yeah, you're acting.
Yeah, well, for example,
it's like an energy thing. You need to like. You can look to someone and call them to act
and lie to their face.
Yeah,
I in the campaign I'm playing,
body language as well.
I am playing a bard. So if anyone's watched like The Witcher, remember like the bard in that fucker? I'm basically one of them assholes.
That goes around and sings songs.
So all of my powers, all of my abilities comes from me playing music. I have like a lute, which is like an old school fucking guitar. And so like whenever we play, I bring a ukulele around to their house as a prop.
Yeah.
And when we're fighting and I encourage people, I'll bust out a poem that I've pre-prepared or that I've written at the table or something, and I'll play it with my ukulele, just like fun poems.
Yeah.
That's actually like really cool.
You can't really do that online. Like that's the sort of shit, like you have proper banter at a table,
But also the other thing is, and you can't control this. It's like in a podcast setting. I can't control talking over you or you talking over me. It just happens.
Exactly.
Like,
and that happens too. And you've probably noticed it too when you've changed to online. People will talk over people really easily.
It's really hard to... And again, it's like acting where you sort of... If you're acting with a group of actors for a long time, it's easy for you to bounce off of each other because you know sort of how you take it in turns talking.
Yeah.
You get those vibes. And it's harder to do that when you can't see each other after a while, when you're used to that.
Do you think because you're playing, just one's for you, Kyle, because you're playing a bard now, if you were to play, say your bard died in a campaign or something and you had to recreate a character, like
it's happened before he came back.
Yeah. So let's just say, okay, it's another campaign with with other local people or something. Do you think that because you've played that style that you'd pick a different style next time, like completely change?
Yeah, 100%. That's one of my favourite things about the game, to be honest, is making characters. And that's the whole thing too. It's like it's creating stories, it's creating things, it's just being creative. And my creative output is making different characters.
Yeah.
Different backstories, different voices. I just like, I like acting them out. I just like the imagination of it,
Do you think this has been developed from video game love, like World of Warcraft, etc.?
No, it came. This is long before video games were a big thing.
Yep.
D&D started.
Sorry, for Kyle specifically.
Oh, okay.
Do you think that because of the World of Warcraft as like helped develop the love for character creation and.
I think it's given me the love for the setting, basically.
Yeah.
I love the
Yeah.
old school fantasy setting. But this personally, I love RPG games that make you think. I love like turn-based games and stuff. So this is part of that, and it's like it gives, as a DM, it'll give me the opportunity to challenge you guys and sort of play the game along with you, because you control the monsters and stuff. You're playing the game. You're following rules as well. So there's the challenge of that. It's like playing a video game, but at the same time, there's this other thing that nothing else gives you, and that is the fact that it's a group of friends creating something on the fly. You don't know what's going to happen. It depends on what people do and what the dice rolls say, and what your DM determines from that. And you're just creating these weird stories. You're not playing this programs game where something's inevitably going to happen.
Yep.
And you get to act it out too. There's an acting itch to it too. Like, if you like performing, if you're a comedian, if you like making people laugh, if you like getting a reaction from people, you'll love this game, because you get to do that with your
definitely.
acting, with your role playing. In my group, we have a big dumb half-orc. So picture like a big fucking green, like orcs from Lord of the Rings, just dumb, but muscly. And he plays him really stupidly.
Yeah.
Like, we tricked him into
That's kind of like my character. He's dumb as
confusing
fuck.
confusing the value of gold and silver,
Yeah. Yeah. So it's still confined in a slight way, only
There
by
are still
by
rules.
by the rules and by the setting. Like
You are. I still think you're pretty much limited by your imagination.
Yeah.
Because there's not really anything in D&D that you just straight up aren't allowed to do.
Every group, every DM, they will have different rules.
Yeah.
Same as like when you make up rules when you're playing board game. Everyone plays Uno differently.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
And D&D, a lot of people will be like, okay, we're not having, we're going to ban the luck feat because it's sort of like an auto fail reroll.
Or someone might have a setting in mind and they're like, no, you can't play a half orc or a orc because
in this game the orcs are the bad guys.
Yeah, they're going to be like the bad guys in this setting.
Unless you can,
It's up to you.
Yeah.
Or you could be reversed.
We're gonna play a strict like Middle Earth Lord of the Rings setting, which means you can't be a gnome, you can't be a friggin' furbolg. Or
do you think that D&D specifically? I think that answer's probably an obvious yes, but I just want to know your thoughts on this. Do you think that like any type of stereotypical person can play this, like your nerds, your sports?
I'm starting to
fans,
believe that more. Once upon a time, it was just a thing for nerds. Like we were the people that played it.
Yep.
Yes.
But as times have changed, like a lot of girls play it now.
Yeah.
It used to be really rare that girls played, but now we've got like I don't know, heaps of chicks that play it.
Well,
your groups, you've got like 2 guys in your whole group.
Liam, Tiki Liam. Asked to play.
New Zealand.
Yeah.
Aiden
Aiden did as well.
Yep.
So like they're not nerdy people. They're not people that you would look at and
Liam,
go, yeah, they're fucking nerds.
Liam definitely not. I would have thought he'd be more like, you fucking geeks.
Yeah, and that's not to say also that every single person can play D&D. That's like it's not right for some people.
Yeah, some people just don't get it.
They're not sorted in like groups. Any kind of person could play.
Yeah,
I think
70-year-old could play it and enjoy it.
Joe Manganiello, the guy that's married to fucking Sofia Vergara. That he's in like heaps of movies. As, like,
she is fucking fit.
Yeah. Well, her husband.
I'll send you a picture of him.
Yeah, send us.
He's a
send
huge
us a photo.
D&D
you'll know who he is when you
fan.
see him because he's just like he looks like a fucking porn star, but he's like an actor.
Oh, it's delicious. Johnny Sins.
Oh, back on him.
I feel like people just like would have to maybe I'm sure there's plenty of guys out there that are the jockey type guys that play because like think about video games how fucking like nowadays like everyone plays video games. How many like jockey guys out there would play role playing games but just
And they're usually the ones that just want to play them characters that like are really good in combat and just like roll big numbers, and, like do a lot of damage, and then get to kill things really well and stuff. And those people you need in your games.
I know that guy. He's out of
Yeah, it's in like Magic Mike and fucking.
Yeah, I reckon he's in
Spider-Man.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine maybe or something.
Yeah, probably.
Can't
He'll be
think.
in there occasionally. How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah. Yep.
Over here.
Yeah. I do remember that. How I Met Your Mother. Yeah.
Smurfs: The Lost Village. Spider-Man 3.
Hey Kyle, since I've got you on here,
True Blood, like that'd be the sort of thing. Your girlfriend probably knows who he is.
Yeah, mate.
Definitely know. Who
I
he is.
asked Rory and asked Shakes for, you know how you're just saying you don't mind like your different like strategy kind of games. I know this is off the dome, but do you have any like 2 or 3 video games that you could recommend to someone that aren't your AAA title, kind of Call of Duty games?
What do you mean, like in general, or like RPG games?
No, just anything,
sort of.
just anything in general that isn't probably your typical. Like maybe many people haven't played.
Yeah,
or
I don't know. I don't think I'm really up to date on that these days, really.
Yep. So what are you playing at the moment?
At the moment, I'm playing the Final Fantasy VII remake, to be honest.
Yeah,
And it's fucking baller.
Yeah.
And those are the kinds of games I've been playing. You know, I played Doom when that came out.
Yep.
Did you go cold on that as well?
What?
Did you go cold on Doom? Did you like get over it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like did you finish it or?
Yeah, I finished it,
finished
and then
it?
that was it.
You just like
I was like,
after?
man, yep.
You were the same, weren't you, Steve?
Yep. I finished it.
Yes.
It took me a little while. But
There were just no
I haven't
rewards at
quite-
the end.
Yeah,
It
I
was
haven't
like-
quite finished it. I got towards the end. I'm just
Yeah.
like, meh.
It was like, here you go, you can replay the chapters. There's no reason for you to, but you can if
Do it
you
anyway.
want.
Oh, you're
also,
gonna
the
get all
time travel
secrets.
thing was fucking stupid. Fast travel was
Yeah.
ridiculous. But
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be that game where you could just finish and then be done with. To be honest,
Yeah.
I wasn't
Yeah.
surprised.
It's consumable, like real easy to just plain eat.
That
Yeah.
being said, I did finish the first 2 or 3 levels on Nightmare, and then I just like, nope, too hard, and switch it back.
I've got on the easiest difficulty and I'm having trouble.
Oh
Like,
fuck! It was
And
pain.
I'm an
I would have died.
old
I'm not
school Doom
joking when I
player.
say I would have died
You know,
at least
Nazis back
60
then.
times just to get to level 4, and I'm like,
Yeah.
nah, this is just not fun for me now.
yeah.
Especially when that fucking Marauder can't come into it. Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh, dog.
I was reading something today. A guy suggested a better way to have framed that character was to have made him like a what do you call him? An adversary that would appear during the course of the game.
Yes.
So you gotta like fight him over the course of the game, like he keeps coming back, like Sephiroth.
Yes. Yeah. That's a good idea. Yeah. I
Yeah, that would
I
have
watched
made
a
him more fun.
I watched
than
a
seeing him
guy.
have to fight the same cunt every time.
Yeah, I watched a guy play the ultimate nightmare mode, and he was just a fucking god. And the way he killed him really quickly was he would, as soon as the green light popped up to kill him, to shoot at him, sorry, he would use his super shotgun, flick down to his other gun, and then flick back up real quick, and he would get 3 shots off.
Oh, okay. So
So-
he's doing like
It's like one of them
quick
Genji
swap.
players that
Yeah.
like mathematically figure everything
Yeah.
out, like, the optimum scenario, and then just like.
What do you guys
practice
think
and
of the new
practice it.
Overwatch character? I haven't played it. I haven't played it yet.
Dope.
She's weird, eh?
Dope.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
kinda
she's
fun.
weird. She's
really-
super hard to get used to. At
Yeah, and
first,
she's got like a really satisfying kill.
but she's
like,
dope. She does so much damage, or at least she feels that way.
Yeah.
Overwatch
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
good one, I think, like a perfect game for gamers that are out there that play your typical, like, for example, they just made the new Call of Duty Warzone free. So games like Call of Duty Battlefield and stuff, if you want to try a game that's a little different but still like first-person shooter,
Yeah.
And it's just drop in, drop out too. Like
Yeah, like we can go and play a game, and the game lasts for 8 to 15 minutes max.
no obligation to it. Like you can jump on and play a 5-minute game and then fuck off again.
So,
Or-
so obviously D&D,
Or
you kind of have to
competitive.
set out probably 2 or 3 hours minimum to have
Yeah.
a decent
Yeah,
session.
and you have to organise a time. Too.
What
about,
you know how hard it is to get a bunch of people
Do you know how
together
hard
in
it
the
is
same
when you've got
room
to
each
actually
week?
also write the game as well as
Yeah.
as running it? Like you got to make it up on the fly.
Um,
Whereas with like Kyle's, at least he's going to be running it.
Do you
like,
play-
and Ben's is like that's
Like,
a module.
Our DM is amazing. Like they
Yeah, she's a
would
freak.
make their own terrain. So if you think of a board game board,
Yep.
you know, they'd make that with squares that represent 5 feet
Have
per
you ever seen
square
anyone
and
play
stuff.
like Warhammer 40k?
But then like have fake grass and stuff on it, and then figures that represent our characters, and then say like wolves or something if we're fighting them.
Yeah.
And they're prepared like each week. Like our DM does that they prepare because it's a homebrew setting too. They're not following a guide. They're just making up their own story.
Yeah.
So they're week after week they're making these things for us.
That's awesome.
So
They're actually
preparation.
like it's just like you using the uke at an actual like it's just
That's
this
it.
little
And
element that's like
Yeah, I'll prepare like poems beforehand too.
Yeah.
Like it's we all add our personal touch to the table.
I actually think I know it's not a philosophical question really, but I think every single person on the planet needs some kind of creative outlet, no matter how big or small.
Yeah.
And it can be any kind of way, but like I mean,
my
how
dad's
many
making whips now?
how many people are out
Whips,
there
yeah.
really that are living like their life don't have some kind of creativity outlet, whether that's fucking anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
something small that you don't even dedicate that much time to either. Like you might not be particularly good at anything specifically, but everyone has some sort of outlet creatively.
yes. Hey,
Um,
I've just realised I've got about 10-15 minutes left, so I'm going to flick the topic back to 420 because it is a 420 special.
It is.
I just thought of this off the top of my head. Do we have any like we haven't really we haven't really talked about the past in terms of 420. So I just want to know, do you guys have any specific memories or things that you'd like to talk about? Some fun times of any description that can come off the dome?
420 related.
Yeah.
We had the anniversary of the fucking tiger wearing the sunglasses incident that sort of kicked off our whole.
Oh, that needs to be explained if people are listening though. Like that's.
Do you have any?
that's
Do you have any stories that it could be down here, it could be up there where you guys are now, it could be 5 years
Have we
ago,
had
it could be a year ago. Anything that
Have we
doesn't
had
really
any-
need too much explanation for like in jokes and stuff.
Yeah,
Just some
have
funny
we
things.
had anything stoner related, funny incidents when we were stoned up here?
Up here,
Yeah.
no, we just get silly sometimes.
Yeah.
Just get silly, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what?
Because we don't have someone like Mead around. If we have an agent of chaos hanging around,
Yes, he is literally an agent of chaos.
yeah.
And we're kind of developing that with Teddy.
Yeah, Teddy's becoming our agent of chaos. Like
Yeah.
last night, he was fucking with us. He was like pulling faces and shit at us.
And I've been like cupping my hands to my mouth and like playing the whole and like it'd
Just
make
there,
him
like,
dance.
dancing
He'd
circles.
like spin and stomp his feet and dance. And it feels like I'm one of them Indian snake charmers that, you know, play the flute and then the snake
it's
pops
so
out.
weird to
That is
watch.
brilliant.
Yeah, that's what I feel like with him.
Yeah, I feel like
it's like dad's
it's probably a
whips.
hard question to answer because I'm sure there's like 1,000 fucking times, but like, especially with me, it's like going to gigs. When someone asks me about gigs, I can't filter it down to gigs anymore, like individually. It's just like a conglomerate of like, yeah, I've seen that band
I still
like 8
have a
times.
lot of good memories because instead of it being something we smoke in a lot of we smoke very differently now.
Yeah.
We used to smoke like once a week. We'd save it for Friday night and get all the boys together
And now we just
get
smoke a
stoned.
lot.
Yeah, we just. Smoke
It's
a lot.
like, do you remember that point in time in Dragon Ball Z history when they were preparing to beat Cell? Right, no, bear with me here. There's a point to this.
I don't think Steve's seen much Dragon Ball Z.
I haven't, but still
And-
continue.
Well, anyway, Goku and Gohan, they go into this hyperbolic time chamber, and what that is they go in there and it's like an extra dimension, and time passes much slower there. So, like, they feel normal, but, like, they might spend 2 hours in the real world there, but inside there it'll feel like a few months.
Yeah.
So they would go in there to prepare to defeat Cell, this bad dude. And so the whole strategy in there was we have to surpass Super Saiyan. So what they did was they were Super Saiyan all the time, not even when they were training, like when they were eating, when they were sleeping, and they did that because they thought they could, you know, control themselves better and then attain a new form.
So what's this got to be getting stoned?
What? Oh yeah.
You're like, I just wanted to talk about Dragon Ball Z.
We have done that. We have done that. We didn't intentionally do it, but we are constantly stoned now.
Pretty much, yeah.
And
Well, in a lot of the time.
yeah, and like it's just a normal thing now. And we haven't reached Super Saiyan 2 yet. Oh, is that possible?
Well,
I suppose
in
I-
almost exactly 3 hours, we'll be finding out for sure.
I think you would kind of ask that question to anyone who has ever smoked weed multiple times, whether it's 2 or 20,000. You're never gonna reach that first time. I don't think ever.
That first time you get so high that like everything you ever imagined about being
A human
high
just
happens. You just,
absolutely
become
shatters,
so-
earth shattering. It's the stone cold
Mm.
glass shatter, basically.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if this is a universal thing or if it was just unique to me. But my first time, I just had no idea what I was doing. I was doing a bomb, and like I had someone helping me, but like I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah, I was hanging out with Marns.
Yeah,
Marns is a very
like, I'd
fun
never
person to be stoned around. 'cause he
I'd
gets
never
angry.
fucking seen someone use a bong before, and I had one shoved in my face. So look, my first time, I don't even know if I did it
Oh,
properly.
so I'll learn how to smoke weed by smoking cannies with Paddy.
Oh, nice.
Me and Paddy smoking cannies.
What a way to smoke out of a can.
Oh,
You
I
ever
won't-
ever smoked ganj through a ice cream
ice
cake?
cream cake? Yes,
Through a
that's
V&A?
what I
I've
thought.
seen it, but I haven't done it myself.
I've never done it myself. I've never wanted to.
No.
I've never gone, you know what? It's time. Maybe one day.
I do have one particular memory that I like was at the Dennington abode when Mead.
Was it the time?
When
Was it
Mead
the time
was,
that it was just you and me? Like we for some reason it was like we finished work early. Maybe it was like Good Friday or something like that. And it just so happened that we were like we got to start real early and the whole house was empty. And it was just you and me walking around the house singing "Don't Stop Me Now."
No, but that is a good one.
That did happen.
I was thinking of the time that fucking I tried to just wrestle Mead for like 30 minutes and he'd just be
Yeah,
like, get off
and
me.
then Ben got involved.
Because Ben didn't sense that we were joking, obviously.
That time that me and Kyle, like, Mead was in the bathroom, so we locked him in the bathroom and then turned every single source of light off in the house.
Yeah.
And then went and hid and, like, chased him around the house like goblins. And then he figured out what we were doing, so started chasing us with his phone torch.
He'd like
trying to
flash his
catch
light
us.
at us, and we just run around the house.
Like, run around like
Another
hissing at him
thing
and
that
shit.
I
That was great. That was fun.
Another
The
thing that
dreamatorium.
I-
We don't have a dreamatorium up here.
oh no, you got a
That's-
cupboard?
That's one thing. We
Yeah,
don't have
it's
anything
not.
in-
It's not quite right.
It's not quite.
It doesn't block out enough.
Yeah, like those cupboards you can stand in, but they're not no good for
I
yourself.
remember having a real stressful work week one time, and I believe Shakes and Walks, you guys were out of town in Melbourne for that week, and I'd set aside the Lord of the Rings extended trilogy, and I'm like, this is my Saturday for sure. And I just specifically remember getting about halfway through the first movie, maybe not even halfway, and then falling asleep and waking up at the end of the third one at like 8 hours, 9 hours later. I don't know why. I just
That's a good
remember
way to
that
do
one.
it, though.
Yeah.
And you were
that
on
is
the
nice.
comfort lord as well.
Yes.
Like, you were on the couch, weren't you?
Yes.
Oh, and you can